Hey everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back. So my name is Katie, if you're new, welcome, and I'm going to be doing my first quarterly refresh and March update for my Partners in Cream project pan. So I'm only going to be switching out one item. I think I'm pretty happy with everything that I have in. One item has kind of completely dried up on me, so I am going to be switching that out for something else, but for the most part everything is going to be staying in. I have had an interesting month. February was really not what I expected and a little weird. I did my eyes most days, but I didn't do the rest of my face makeup as much, so the usage on things like concealers, eyebrow products, whatever, has been a little bit lower this month. I'm kind of hoping things will go maybe back to a little bit more normal in the last month of the semester, but I'm just kind of looking at things and I don't see as much progress as I'd hoped, but I did manage to use everything at least a couple of times, so considering what February had in store for me, I'm going to consider that one a win. So let's start off with my concealer. This one has been in for quite a while and it never seems to end. I had hoped to use this in the 10 to 15 times as of the last update. I kind of completely forgot that reading week was the thing, and I was pretty much at home just chilling out for the entire time, so I really didn't, aside from I think the one video that I filmed, I didn't really use this at all. So I've used the concealer 7 times, which is a little bit short of the like 10 to 15 goal that I'd set for myself. I don't know how much you guys can see, but the actual product I think is more like down here, but the visible line is somewhere around here, and I feel like it's a little bit lower than it was as of the last update. So definitely I'm seeing some movement, but I know with this one that I am going to have to step it up if I actually want to ever finish it. I've also noticed that it is starting to look a little bit drier on my under eyes, and I'm not sure if it's just because this is getting a little bit past its expiration date or if it's just because my skin is dry in general. It could be that, I don't know. It's warm today, but it's been very cold here and my skin has just been dry and a little bit unhappy in general. For some reason, I just like haven't been sleeping super well the last like couple of weeks. I think it's just like end of semester things, but as soon as that happens, I find that my skin will start to show it fairly quickly, so that also could be what's happening. I don't want to write this one off too quickly and I do want to finish it, but yes, I definitely see some movement, not as much as I would like. I would like to get in the 10 to 15 uses for this next month, which I think is doable. I have a bunch of like presentations and stuff like that, so I think that'll happen. Next up, I have my blush, and this is actually the item that I'm going to be switching out. So I've had the Colourpop Super Shock Blush in Between the Sheets in a project for over a year now. It was one of my original items in my rolling 10 pan last year, and I have kept it in this project because I wanted to finish it, but I think it's time for me to say goodbye to this one. So I have used this one 4 times since the last update, and as you can see, it has started to just like completely fall apart. It started to pull apart. It's really hard to get color payoff. It fades really quickly now, so I think it might be time for me to say goodbye to this one. And it is a really pretty color, but it used to be, I don't know if you guys can even see that swatch, it used to be a lot more pigmented and it's just not really delivering anymore, and I think it's time for me to say goodbye. I don't feel like this owes me anything. At one point I did really want to have this one actually finished, but at this point I think it's time to just call it quits on this one. I have had this product for a while now, but I haven't really used it as much because it's sort of very similar in color to Between the Sheets, so I've been kind of wanting to reach for that one over this one, but I'm really excited to roll this one in because I do really enjoy this product. And these, I don't know if you can get this outside of Canada. Quo Beauty is like a Shoppers Drug Mart thing here, but this is one of their Featherweight cream blushes. It's in the color Pure, and it's very, very similar in vibe. It's kind of got that like terracotta color. This one's a little bit more, I think, neutral and nude. It gives me that kind of like sunburned look, which I like. It's also got a really nice sort of sheen to it, which is very flattering, whereas the Super Shock is matte, at least the one that I have, not all of them. It can be built up, you can sheer it down. Anyways, I really enjoy these, and I think these are intended to be a dupe for the Glossier Cloud Paint. I don't think you can get Glossier easily here anymore. I swear a couple years ago, Sephora, like very many years ago, like 4 to 5, Sephora used to carry Glossier, but I feel like I could have been making that up. So anyways, this is what I've been playing around with, and I know that I'm not going to finish this. It definitely is fairly pigmented and packs a punch, but I would just definitely like to get some more use on it and use it a little bit more before it inevitably goes bad. Yeah, I don't have any like specific goals, but it just more usage on this one would be great. I would like to have it sort of losing its new tube sort of look and start to flatten out a little bit. I know it's going to take months, but I think this will be fun to have in for the spring and into the summers. Okay, so moving on, I have my highlighter, and this is in the shade Flexitarian, also by Colourpop, kind of an icon. And I have been working on this one. I don't think I'm going to finish it in this project, but I would like to use it a little bit more because it is starting to dry out a little bit. Not as much as my blush, but it definitely is starting to lose a little bit of its emolliency. And so this one I have used 8 times. I have a silver in my Pandas eyeshadows right now, and my first round was very, very cool tone, so I reached for this one quite a bit in the earlier parts of February, and so this one looks a little gross because I've been using it with a brush, but it looks like this, and I feel like you can definitely tell that it's been used a little bit more, which is great. I don't think I'm gonna hit pan on this one for a while. I have been trying to like swirl around the sides and kind of wear it down evenly, but I do just want to continue working away at this one because it is a really gorgeous highlighter. I will probably want to switch this out for something a little bit more warm toned in June, but I am going to leave it in for now and just try to get as much use on it as I can over the next couple months. It is definitely a little bit more glittery, or at least it can be, but you can definitely sheer it out and make it a little bit more subtle, or you can build it up and it is in its natural state quite blinding. So I have been really enjoying playing around with this one. I feel like for me, figuring out how to use this with a brush has been kind of game changing, because before I was using it with my fingers and I had to sort of go back with the beauty blender and just like tap it out, and some mornings I don't want to do that. So I've definitely figured out how to make this one work with the brush, and I've been using it a lot more that way, so it's just made it a lot easier to incorporate in my daily routine. So I'm definitely enjoyed having this one in. We're going to keep it in for the next couple months. So my last three all involve my notebook, and I'm going to start off, I guess, with my brow wiz because that is the first thing on my notebook. So my brow wiz has been used 6 times since the last update. I think I was hoping more to get in the 10 to 12 range last month. Very clearly that did not happen, but I have used this one a little bit. Not as much progress as I'd hoped, at least in terms of movement, but I feel like it has moved ever so slightly, and if I ever get this rolled up, I will show you. So it currently looks like this. There's definitely a little bit left, but definitely in terms of my usage, quite a few months left in here. And then for my notebook, as you guys can see, the line has moved a little bit, but not as much as I had kind of hoped for. So I mean, it has moved since the beginning. I started up here, now I'm down to here, but definitely pretty slow going on this one. I think if I have this one done by the end of the year, I think I'll be pretty happy with that. I feel like I'm just not really a brow pencil kind of girl. I like to incorporate it sometimes. Fundamentally, I'm a little lazy and I don't want to do that on a daily basis. I much prefer a tinted brow gel, a lot faster and more efficient. So I do like this, but would I repurchase? Probably not. I'm also working on my e.l.f. Sheer Slick. Now I'm not tracking uses on this one because I generally use it as a lip balm when I'm just like home and chilling around the house like today, where I don't have classes, don't have anywhere to go. So this I have been working on for a while. It definitely has moved a little bit, not as much as I thought. I swear I used this more than I did. I feel like I've been kind of ignoring this one over the last couple of weeks, so this didn't get as much use on it as I had maybe hoped for, but it is definitely moving, and as you guys can see, I think it is, there's not a ton left in here, so I'm thinking another couple of months this will be finished, so maybe by June or so I'll be able to finally roll it out of this project and have it finished. I think there's a color in this that's similar to Black Honey by Clinique, so I would definitely consider picking that up if e.l.f. were a little bit easier to find here. They are not, so I think this might be my only one for a while, but I do like the formula, just the color choice was not my best work. I also thought I'd made more progress on this one looking at the lines, but not so much. So as you guys can see, the last line I'm like down to about here, so not as much usage as I'd hoped, but hopefully I'll be able to like step it up in the next like month or two and have this finished up by June. I think that's kind of going to be the goal here. And last but not least, I have my Covergirl Duo. So I have been not tracking the uses on the gloss stick, but I have been tracking the uses on the actual liquid lipstick part. I'm wearing it today, and again, I just sort of slacked on this one a little bit. I think I said this in the last update too, my Pan Those eyeshadows was very, very cool tone. I was reaching for more pink lip colors rather than more peachy ones. I know that this one will get a lot of use over the spring and summers. I know its time is coming, it's just not right now, but I have used this one 5 times since the last update, which is not bad considering I think I'd used it like 2 or 3 times between January and February, and you still really can't see any difference here, but it is definitely like down to about here, so I think another couple months and I should be able to get this one finished up. I do want to make sure that I'm able to like scrape the sides and dig as much out of there as possible, but right now there is still plenty left in there, and I think the one that I'm the most impressed with is the gloss stick because I don't know what happened here, but I only have a tiny little bit left in here. Like this is all that I have left. So I think this will probably be done by the next update at the rate that I'm going. And this one I think has shown the most progress. So it's this one right here. And as you guys can see, I made a ton of progress. I don't know how accurate this is. I mean, I drew these lines myself, but I didn't think I made like as much progress on it as this is showing, but evidently I did, and I am pretty close to having this one finished. I think one thing that has influenced this is that it started to kind of melt a little bit, and I don't know why because I stored it in a drawer, so it's not like it's exposed to heat, but this one has sort of, I think because it's a very soft consistency and there's not a whole lot left, it's kind of like melting and being squished down, so I think that's why I made as much like progress as I did, because it is kind of getting a little messy in here, but I think I will be able to have this one finished by the next update and call this one an empty. So that is pretty much everything. So that is everything I have for this update. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're doing this project, let me know down below so I can follow along with yours. If you want to see more of my face, I upload new beauty videos roughly once every week or two when I can at this point. So if you are interested in seeing more of my face, feel free to hit that subscribe button, feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Bye!